Welcome to EDU 355. I'm your instructor for this class. I'm Dr. Johnson. I've taught this class for quite a few times, but this is the first time I've taught it with the UTEP online version. I'm also the course designer, and this is the first time through. So I've worked hard to try to create a fairly smooth product, and we'll see how well I did. But in the meantime, I'm sure we can take care of any problems as they arise. All right, this view that you see at the moment is your homepage view, and we're going to do a bit of a walkthrough to make sure that you can navigate. First of all, if you've had D2L experience before, you know that in the homepage, this orange bar that you see right here is an important navigational tool. It allows you to find what you need to find. So we're in the course home view. Anytime you want to get to this home page, you just click on course home, or up here you can click on the title of the class. Either one will take you back to this home page view. Now on this page you see some important features. Here we have the news tool, and right at the moment the particular announcement that you see here is to you. It describes several things that you need to do as you enter the room, what to try first, and you will see 4 blue bold fonts here. Those are all active links to either videos or documents that you should be looking at as part of your orientation. There's updates here. To be honest, I'm not quite sure what that looks like from a student perspective. As I scan down the page, you'll see that there are some additional announcements that are in the news tool. And then off to the right, you'll see an important tool. This is your calendar tool, and it tells you when certain things are due. Please pay close attention to your deadlines. They're also listed in the syllabus, but this calendar tool is a really wonderful way to make sure that you are keeping in mind what's coming up next. As I continue to scan down, you see the content browser, and here you have file folders that you can go into. You'll find the course syllabi, for example, in here, and there's a variety of important tools. This one that I have right now, the course content, a detailed blueprint for each week, is going to be your primary go-to folder as you navigate the class. We're going to go into it right now, and you'll see that each week it's set up according to weeks. And in each folder, there's a blueprint for the week, lesson plans. That's the one I'm going to spend the most time with. There's some resources. Oftentimes those resources are referred to in the lesson plans. And this one here says linked content. All of the linked content is actually, the link is embedded in the lesson plan. So this blueprint for week 1, and each week has a blueprint document, that is really meant to be your one-stop shop for everything you need. So as we go in there, here's the week 1 lesson plans, your one-stop shop. So as we go into the week 1 lesson plans, and I'm not sure, oh there we go, it's taking a moment to load. I want you to notice that there are a couple of preliminary things that you should do in the first week just to get started, and some of these have already been talked about in that news item, like the introduce yourself and printing the syllabus. So those things are already familiar. There's also a task to complete before the first workshop. I've already sent you an email about that, and then some instructions for working with the course readings and videos. So those are some preliminary things. Each week is set up with 3 lesson plans so that you can do the lessons in chunks. You could sit and do them all at once, but that would be pretty nightmarish. But if you have a full day, like you like to try to get everything done as much as possible in one day, that would allow for it. It's not what I'd call the most ideal learning. The learning that you do in education courses, specifically methods courses, is best done, I call it the crock-pot model, not the microwave. It's better to chew on pieces over a long period of time rather than trying to do everything in sort of one sitting. However, it's set up so that you can deal with it as you may. So there's each lesson, lesson A, B, and C for each week. Each of the lessons is generally constructed to be about an hour and a half. Some are a little less on weeks, particularly where your homework assignments would be greater. But an hour and a half lesson 3 times a week results in 12 hours every 2 weeks, or 6 hours a week average. That corresponds very nicely to the work commitment required by the on students on-campus students in this class. So that's the way that it works, and then you see your deadlines listed there at the bottom as well. So this is the way each of the weeks are constructed with a week 1, week 2, week 3. Now this bar here is a navigational bar, but when I go through this route, like let's say I want to look at week 2 and I click here instead of going back to course home, I'm going to get a different view. In the course home view, I saw these neat little folders that I could click on, but in the course content view, that's the way it looks if I clicked on the content piece. And it's going to look a bit different, so I'm just going to walk you through what that would look like. So here I'm going to see that their table of contents is off to the left, and then over here is where I can click on different aspects. So here's the contents of the week 1 folder, the contents of the week 2 folder, or I could just click on week 3 directly. And it's taking a moment for it to actually load up. Not quite sure what's going on with that, but normally when I click on week 3, then week 3 will go to the top. So I'm not quite sure, my computer is being a little sluggish here. So that's basically the idea, but again, if you don't like that view, just go back to course home. In fact, if you ever get lost in the class, just go back to course home and you'll be fine. If you want to contact me or one of the workshop facilitators or somebody else in the class, you can use this page. This is your class list, and so you can choose if your workshop coordinator were Eric Bear, for example, you could click on his name and you could come up here to email, and so that's a nice tool for communication. I've already shown you the content. The assessments, most of these are actively linked right into the lesson plans, but if you were trying to find a particular discussion board or Dropbox, they would be available here, okay, or rubric. And then there's a place for you to find your grades as well. So this is basically our course home for the EDU 355 UTEP version. And I do want to make sure that you are communicating very clearly any problems that you might have, especially since this is the first time through. I have really tried very hard to make this a fairly easy to navigate course, but it's natural that certain things can arise and it will likely get better with time. So I appreciate you letting me know as soon as you find any problem and communicating that so that it can be taken care of and edited. All right, well, we're off to a start, and I hope it will be a good one. I look forward to working with you this semester.